It's time for the Department of Justice and the State Department to be true to their mission and recognize the significance of the election of 2016. The American people elected Donald Trump to change the way things are done in Washington. To us, truth and justice matter, and law and order is mandatory. No more cover-ups, no more rigged investigations, no more cutting organized criminal enterprises like the Clinton Foundation any slack. This week we learned that James Comey, long before that fateful July 4th weekend, when Hillary Clinton was interviewed, actually began drafting a memo exonerating a criminal target of a federal investigation of all criminal liability. And this week, we learned that both the Department of Justice and the State Department opposed a Freedom of Information release of foilable material on the Clinton email investigation. Both Justice and State fought against allowing the American people getting the truth on the Clinton investigation. And amazingly, both Justice and State defended the privacy of Hillary Rodham Clinton's records over our right to know. This must stop. The deep state, Obama and Clinton, the holdovers in both the Justice and State Departments must be eliminated. Even a federal judge is fed up with them ordering them to release information to the American public. Now, State Department Secretary Rex Tillerson may know the world, but I'm not so sure he understands government holdovers looking to protect the Clinton dynasty. Jeff Sessions needs to follow his prosecutorial instincts and open a federal criminal investigation into the actions of Hillary Rodham Clinton and impanel a grand jury immediately. This woman should not get a free pass because she lost an election. Her reign was one of bold, brazen, in-your-face, pay-to-play corruption. And I'm not even talking about the hypocrisy of this so-called women's rights activist whose feminism starts and ends with the women who have accused her husband of wrongdoing and the contributions to her foundation from countries that literally hate and kill women. And Jim Comey. He needs to be the target of an active criminal investigation for obstruction of justice, conspiracy, and perjury. His prejudging an investigation before 17 witnesses and the target of that criminal investigation were even interviewed is the essence of public corruption. He lied to the Senate Judiciary Committee when he said he only made the decision to not charge, which, by the way, was not his decision to make in the first place, after the investigation was completed.
Director, did you make the decision not to recommend criminal charges relating to classified information before or after Hillary Clinton was interviewed by the FBI on July the 2nd?
After. But if colleagues of ours believe I am lying about when I made this decision, please urge them to contact me privately so we can have a conversation about this. All I can do is tell you again, the decision was made after that because I didn't know what was going to happen in that interview. She maybe lied during the interview in a way we could prove.
That's a bunch of hogwash. Further proof of that corruption is that Hillary Clinton promised Attorney General Loretta Lynch that she could keep her job after that undisclosed meeting on the tarmac between Bill Clinton and Loretta Lynch. And Jim Comey, Mr. Holier-than-thou, who has repeatedly shown himself to be a grandstander, an egomaniac, and a political operative, has shown himself to be the essence of the swamp that Americans so want to clean up. It is time to go after Jim Comey. And that's my open. Tell me what you think on my Facebook page or Twitter, #Judge Jeanine. All right, and here now to talk about all the breaking news from today and more, my political panel. Democratic strategist Michael Starr Hopkins, along with Charlie Kirk, founder and executive director of Turning Point USA. Guys, thanks for being here tonight. All right, Donald Trump has said all the right things. It appears that he's doing all the right things, appearing in ravaged southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana in the first week. What do you say to that, Michael?
Donald Trump's doing his job. Thank God. I'm not going to give him extra credit for doing what he's supposed to do, which is being president. But I will draw attention to what he's done during the hurricane, which is pardon Joe Arpaio, and now he's rumored to have ended DACA, which is something that just isn't just immoral.
What do you mean he's rumored to end the DACA? We don't even know. He said he's not going to tell us till Tuesday. Don't start trashing the man before he even makes a decision.
All reports from the White House indicate that DACA is going to end.
What?
I said all reports from the White House indicate DACA is going to end on Tuesday.
Who did you talk to at the White House? Who's your anonymous source? Charlie hit it.
Yeah, that's crazy. How about, hey, Michael, will you give him extra credit for giving $1 million to the hurricane victims?
Yeah, if he actually
does it. How about giving 2 visits in the last week?
Donations.
He's got plenty of money. I love this attack from the left. They keep on saying, oh, Donald Trump's not going to be good for his charitable giving. Like, yeah, he's ever had a real problem with his wealth. Give me a break. You know he has the money. He's going to fulfill his commitment. Don't give me that garbage. Secondly, you're going to give him some commitment to actually going down to Texas today for a second time, actually helping people with the vice president. So, look, the president's been phenomenal. He's demonstrated wonderful leadership. But on a broader scale, we've seen America at its best. I love that on the field report where we see Americans stepping up, giving billions of dollars charitably, driving across the country, sending goods and services, everything that people need. I love seeing the philanthropic backbone of America stepping up in times of tragedy. It makes our country unique.
Go ahead, Michael.
No, I agree with that 100%. Despite all the politics of it, we have seen America at its best. And, despite our racial indifferences, everything that's going on, we're seeing Americans come together. And I hope that carries through after this.
But you know what? I believe that it's not just America at its best. I believe that this is America. I believe that all this hogwash, and by the way, did you hear the latest? Congress has held their positive ratings are 8%. I mean, they're less than 10%.
Who are those 8%? I want to know who those people are. I can't figure it out. Like, who actually approves of what they're doing? Seriously, it's unbelievable. They take all of August off and do absolutely nothing, and they want to get rewarded for it. It's ridiculous.
Well, but you know what, Michael? I mean, don't you agree? I mean, a lot of this stuff with the Antifa, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But, that's just kind of, to me, that's just operatives playing politics, and that American people are good people and work together, and all of this other East Coast, West Coast, mainstream media hogwash is just that. Am I wrong?
No, I mean, I think the American people are good people, but I think that we do have uncomfortable conversations we need to have, and I think that politicians and pundits have, made it a lot more difficult to have those conversations because they played on some of our most insecure fears.
All right. Let me ask you this. So now we hear Jim Comey writes a draft of exonerating his girlfriend Hillary before 17 key witnesses and Hillary herself are investigated, then lies under oath and says he didn't make the decision until after he talked to her. He didn't?
No, he didn't lie under oath. You and I are both. Hold on. You and I are both criminal attorneys, and we know.
No, I'm a judge. You're an attorney.
Okay. Well, yeah, but you're an attorney before you become a judge.
Yeah, but I got past the attorney thing. Then I was a DA, and then I was a judge.
Exactly. So we both know in a criminal investigation, you don't wait until after the investigation's done to draft the beginning statements. James Comey was 9 months into that investigation, and he drafted that letter saying that he didn't believe that Hillary Clinton was going to be charged.
That's a bunch of hogwash, and you know it.
Come on.
Let me ask you, Michael, let me ask you something. Have you ever prosecuted a case? Have you ever put an investigation together? No, you're a defense attorney.
That's not true. Actually, I was a civil prosecutor for the city as well.
And you know what? He had this friend, Benjamin Wittes, Charlie, and Benjamin says, oh, you always write the opinion before you hear the argument. Well, this is totally different. You don't make a decision until you get the evidence.
But he didn't make a decision. He started drafting
really quick, Michael.
All right, then prove to me he wrote a note saying she was guilty.
She wasn't guilty. Yes, why would he write something that wasn't true?
Oh, that he knew ahead of time that he was going to exonerate her, but not that he might incriminate her.
When you were a DA, you didn't wait until the day of trial to write your closing argument. You started drafting it before.
There is no trial if there's no investigation.
That's exactly right. And you know what, Judge, you brought up a great point. This should go in front of a grand jury. Just because she lost a historic election does not mean she's above the law. She has run a criminal enterprise for many years, which is the Clinton Crime Foundation. Clinton Family Foundation for many years. You are spot on. And you know what? Now she that she colluded with the FBI and former Attorney General Lynch on that tarmac meeting.
A lot of projection.
Michael, last 10 seconds. Go.
There's no it's not a coincidence that this story is coming up at the same time that the IRS has given Mueller the tax returns for Donald Trump. It's not a coincidence that this is coming up as subpoenas are starting to come out. We'll see what happens, but I suspect that Hillary Clinton won't be the one getting indicted.
Michael Starr, Hopkins, Charlie, Kirk, thanks so much. And coming up, new information that the FBI and DHS have been warning officials about: the rise of Antifa violence for more than a year. The developing story that you need to hear is next. New shocking information about leftist extremists known as Antifa. Fox News learning that in previously unreported documents, the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security warned that, quote, anarchist extremists and Antifa groups were the primary instigator of violence at rallies. Joining me now, Republican